everyone, my name is Dakota and I'm here with
Miles.
So Miles, what do you do in music?
I'm currently a hip hop artist. I go by the name of Benjinoo, and I'm on all streaming platforms. Go straight.
How has hip hop made an impact on the current state of the world?
Me personally, I would say hip hop it plays like a huge factor with like almost everything like that like could determine someone's whole mood like especially like with someone like me like music could almost like I wouldn't say determine but like deter how I feel for the day like say if I'm like on like a real stressful day and I cut on some like music that's like healing and then it's the right music and then like it just helps me feel better and like it's for like hip hop just helps everyone feel better or make everybody feel upbeat or just I feel like that's like how it makes the world feel.
Okay. Do you think hip hop should be an inclusive or exclusive genre?
I feel like that's like a two-way street because like as a hip hop artist I do want like everyone to be able to like hear my music and be able to like relate and listen to hip hop but then like as a person as a creator it's kind of annoying because you see like people who like don't necessarily like relate to hip hop. They try to do it. It's like weird.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really fit. Like I feel like cause I don't want to say like I don't want it to be exclusive. Cause at the end of the day, I just want everyone to hear and be able to like.
What does hip hop mean to you?
Hip hop means the world, man. Like person like me, it like I don't even want to say like hip hop in general, but like hip hop or music, it means like the world. Like hip hop is just so important. Like I grew up off hip hop. Like even though like my mom wasn't too big of a hip hop fan, my big brother was. He was one who influenced me with hip hop. He was the reason why I even started in the first place. Him listening to people like YG, Problem, Dom Kennedy, T-Fly, like all the like Nipsey Hussle, like all the like popular LA West Coast artists at the time. Like that just made me want to rap. Cause it just made me like like. My brother likes it, I could do it too. Like, it just played such a huge factor in my life. And then,
Okay, so who would you say has been like one of the biggest influences on your rap career?
The biggest influence on my rap. Well, like I said, like my brother, he started like my whole beat rapping in general. If I was to say like influences, honestly, if it's an artist, I would probably say Youngboy. Even though like I'm not like a huge fan of his music now and like what he got going on, just for him to be so young and take over the rap game like that, him and like Chief Keef, like they was like 14, 15, just rapping and like really taking over the whole world with rap. And then like on top of that, like just being able to like get their friends out of a better environment just off rap, like that was so crazy because like someone like me, I started rap at like 8 years old. And I've always been rapping. Like I just love to do it. And just seeing people like that doing it so young and just like prospering off it, like it just made me like want to really like do it.
Okay. What in your perspective makes a great hip hop record?
Of course, the lyrics. You gotta know what you're talking about. You can't. Well, nowadays you can go in there and just say whatever. But me, I still kind of pay attention to the lyrics. Like it's probably not gonna be the best thing, but if you got at least good lyrics, that's what I want to hear. And then like of course you want to hear like an amazing beat. That's what's gonna set it off. If you got the right beat, everyone's gonna want to listen. Whether it's up tempo, mellow, just the right production is what really makes a record. But if you got lyrics to back it up, that's like what really makes a record pop for real. Like that's what's gonna give you longevity in the hip hop career. But yeah, mainly like beat, lyrics. Of course, substance too, that can play a huge factor. Like, depending on, because everyone's not gonna want to hear certain songs in certain times. Like, no one wants to hear a turned up song when they're going through it. Let's be honest. You're gonna want to hear something a little more
relatable.
Yeah, like.
Okay. How did you discern that hip hop was the right genre for your artistic expression?
Well, growing up, hip hop was like the main thing I always like listened to. And on top of that, like growing up, where I grew up was Gardena, California. Well, Hawthorne, Gardena, California, LA area. That's kind of like the main thing that's being played over here. Like, yeah, R&B's played too, but at that time when I was young, it was like R&B wasn't as popular. It was really more like just hip hop, especially like people my age or people close to my age were listening to. Like, and if it was R&B, it was like the old school R&B, like New Edition, Anita Baker. Like no one was listening to that for like say like my mom or something. Yeah, like
Yeah.
So then like with hip hop, that was just like what was going on. Like that's just what it was at the time. Like nobody was like, oh yeah, we're gonna listen to country, we're gonna listen to R&B, we're gonna listen to pop. Like our hip hop was just what it was. So for me, I just always loved hip hop, and then like one day I just seen people doing it, and I was just like, hey, I can do it too. So that's what I did, and then like yeah, that's all it is.
Okay. Who are the paramount figures influencing your work within the realm of hip hop?
Paramount figures. I mean, of course, like if you hear once you hear like Paramount figures, you're gonna think of like the Tupac, Biggie, but that's not. I didn't grow up in that time. So I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all and say that. Like honestly, I'll just go off like my younger days for real. Like when I was younger, the main people that were like really like encouraging me with hip hop was like I said, YG, Eminem, 50 Cent, a little bit of Lil Wayne, not too much. They're like other West Coast legends like Dom Kennedy, T5, Problem, Schoolboy Q, Kendrick, all those people. Cause that's like the main thing I was listening to. I was a West Coast kid, so I was gonna listen to West Coast music. And then like as I got older, I started listening to more South music like Future, Chief Keef, Young Boy, Soulja Boy, all those people. But like yeah, around this time, that's what I genuinely like grew up with. But like now, I would say Rilo, No Cap, those are my top two paramount support artists right now for sure.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
YG is like kind of influenced your style of music or your artistic expression.
Mm-hmm.
So, how has he done that? Like, what projects do you feel like kind of gave you the motivation to start?
If I'm not mistaken, the first project I heard by YG, I believe, was Just Read Up 2.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the one that had I'm Good on it? I don't think I think it was that one, right?
I think it was that one because I don't think it's on My Crazy Life.
Yeah, it's definitely not on that for sure.
Yeah.
I think it was on Just Read Up 2. But that's because I remember like my brother used to play that song all the time, so it got stuck in my head. So like I was like, hey Michael, what song is this? And then he told me, and he, like, of course he gave me the clean version. He didn't want me to listen to the whole like, he wouldn't be knowing too much, but like, yeah, like I listened to it. I was like, oh, like it's hard, and I just, he just kind of stayed. But it wasn't like, oh, like I just went through his whole thing. I'm like, okay, this is hard. Then once he dropped My Crazy Life, I was a staple for like people my age.
Yeah.
Like everyone from my whole school, we knew the whole album. Even though we wasn't supposed to, we shouldn't have, but we knew the whole album.
Yeah.
Like every song, like it was amazing.
Yeah, especially when he dropped My Crazy Life.
Yeah, that was for LA. That was a big moment.
That was a big project.
For sure. Yeah.
So you have a project coming up. Coming out May 3rd.
Yes, sir.
So it's called Do You Hear Me, right? Do You Hear Me? Do You Hear Me coming May 3rd. So what is the inspiration behind this project?
Honestly, me being like an up-and-coming artist, everything with up-and-coming artists, a lot of people, even like friends and family and peers and stuff, they don't really like care to listen to you. And that's nothing wrong with it. I'm not the type of person like, oh, like, hey, I'm an artist, come listen to me. I'm just like, hey, if you want to listen, you want to listen. But if you do listen, I want you to hear me. That's why I'm asking people, like, do you hear me? But, like, the whole, like, point of me, like, dropping this project was because, like, even though I just dropped a tape called Worth the Wait, also on all streaming platforms in December. And that one was really just, like, I didn't really put, like, my best body of work. I was really just, like, putting a whole bunch of songs together, rapping songs, singing songs, just like here y'all go. Cause I didn't really drop it too much. I wanted to like really start dropping more. People want me to drop the tape, but like I'm like, are y'all like really gonna listen? Like, are y'all really gonna hear me? So like, the whole play was, do you hear me? And then like I have a song on the tape that's also called Do You Hear Me? That's where I mainly got it from. Cause it was just like a staple of the whole album. Like on that song, I was like really like, I wouldn't say emotional, but like I just let people understand like what was like really going on, like how I really felt. Like I didn't want to just talk about like what I usually talk about. I tried to like really dumb it down and like really like get y'all to understand. Like it wasn't too turned up. It was just to really get y'all to hear me. So Do you hear me? Coming May 3rd on every streaming platform.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you love me? Do you love me not? Cause it's hard to know the feeling. Be feeling like a failure when I'm sitting around and chillin'. Late night talking up to God like, do you hear me? I'm tryna be the boss, can't be the man in the middle. I'm supposed to be the hero, why they treat me like a villain? Been grinding every day, I'm the man on the mission. I do it for them dollars, you can keep the recognition.